Who are you?
This is my boy Speedith. He's about to get his head cut off, unironically, but I'm gonna get saved by a dragon that's trying to kill me. Yeah, try to keep up. It gets very confusing. This is Alduin here. He got sent forward in time by an Elder Scroll or something like that, and sensing our presence as Dragonborn, he decides, you know what, I'm just gonna go kill this guy. So now that the timer's actually started, we are just gonna run past everyone and everything. Alduin's gonna break a hole here in the side of the watchtower, and I'm gonna jump the wrong way. Believe it or not, I have like 700 hours in this game, and I somehow managed to jump the wrong way. So after the power of editing, and I skip forward, I run into this guy who's just told me to go die, basically, until he cuts my he gets rid of my hand binds. And so basically this is going to be a level 1 Skyrim challenge speedrun. I'm playing here on novice difficulty, of course, but before I explain more, let me get out of Helgen. Alright, so I made it outside and my game crashed. It just straight up crashed and died. And after forgetting to hit record after starting the game back up, I had to make a new character. And so I think the game broke when the first time, because I didn't get out of there with Hadvar. So I tried to wait and try to get him to go like get out, but it wasn't working. I didn't want to waste too much time on it, so I decided to just run out. And as you see, I quick saved in case that happened again, but luckily it didn't. My name is Rebus the Vagabond, and welcome to my challenge run, ladies and gentlemen. So rule number 1 is this is a pure level 1 run. I can't sell anything. I can't lockpick. No armor, no weapons, no spells, no nothing. This is just straight hands. Hence why you saw me playing as a Khajiit. I'm going to try my best to utilize the things I know about the game. This isn't a perfected run by any means whatsoever, but it was still a good run in my opinion, and I'm pretty proud of it. And I realized I've never beaten the game on Steam before. So I decided, why not make a video out of it? Why not do a challenge run? No companions. Speed is key, obviously. So I'm going to be playing on novice difficulty. Number 4, no mods. This is just a pure vanilla Skyrim Anniversary Edition run. God, that's so hard to say. Try saying that 10 times fast. But anyway, we make it here to Alvor, and he gives us the thing to run the Whiterun. But you guys know what time it is, though. It's times for the most meme-filled part of the run, Bleak's Falls Barrow. So basically what we're doing in here is we have to retrieve a golden claw for the Riverwood Trader, but newsflash, I don't give it to him because it's not important to the main quest line. But we're also in here for the Dragonstone that we're gonna need here after 3 minutes of dialogue. I don't know. If you guys have never played Skyrim by genuinely just running past all the enemies, I highly encourage it. Ironically enough, it's, as someone who's played Skyrim for so long, it's so funny to me thinking about how hard I used to try to make sure everyone was dead when I could have just ran past them. This run really showed how unsmart the AI is in this game, or how slow they are to react when you're not actively like in combat with them. Which, to be fair, if I was a Draugr who has been sleeping for thousands of years, then all of a sudden a random naked cat just starts running past, I think I would just go back to sleep too, to be honest. So right up ahead here, there's these little rotating pillar things. So I thought I knew what the combination was, but this is like the only one I messed up, ironically enough. But as you saw, that guy, he didn't even try fighting me. He literally just, he was locked into that. So after letting him die and wasting a little time grabbing money, I somehow forget the combination. Out of this whole run, this is the combination I thought I knew by heart, because I think you spin all 3 once and then the second 2 again and it's done. So that's what I tried to do. I thought it's what it is, but I messed it up. So a little bit of a time loss there, actually having to look at what it is. Also, an interesting thing I found out while doing this run is you can use scrolls. April me here. It's going to make sense later on in the video, but you can use staffs and scrolls and it won't level up your magical skills. It was ingrained in my head that it leveled up your skills, so I didn't use it. And it's not like it really mattered anyway in the end, because you don't really get a staff. At least what I remember from the run is I didn't get a staff until the Dragon Lord dude. But again, I can't even pick up that staff because it has to stay in the ground all the way at the end of the game before you go into Sovngarde. So the staff one really didn't make much of a difference. I thought that was pretty interesting. If I was doing a level 1 run on a harder difficulty, I probably would have considered using them more. I don't know how good scrolls are. My experience is they're not the greatest personally, but here you see we get the golden claw. We need it for the puzzle up ahead, or the dragon door. I am looting because I'm looking for money, because I'm just gonna be hiring carriages everywhere. Also, shout out to Goat, the Whiterun stables dude. Absolute goat of a But anyway, yeah, goat fast travel spot. Let's cut through to the boss fight so you see how the first boss fight of the game goes. So after learning the word of power, the skeleton, the Draugr Overlord is gonna pull up, and it's a pretty easy fight. I mean, I don't know what you guys expected, but I knew it was gonna be a breeze. As you see, absolute what was that, 6-piece combo, and he was down. I waste time looting this chest. I really didn't need to, and I got stuck up on trying to learn a healing spell, which was utterly useless. Most of this run's gonna be is just pulling up, throwing 6-8 punches. Yeah, see, I dodged it. You're welcome. And then just leaving. But yeah, let's go ahead and get to Whiterun, and I'll fill you guys in a little more. So as I'm ringing up to Skyrim here, I make sure to stop by whatever farms are nearby to grab leeks, cabbages, tomatoes, and potatoes, because those 4 things right there will be able to make me vegetable soup. And if you guys don't know what vegetable soup is, basically it's one of the best food items in the game, because it regenerates a stamina a second and a health a second, which means you can power attack infinitely. One of the first almost roadblocks / run unders in the game is this guard right here. So if you don't know, you have to talk to this guy to be let into Whiterun. And my first playthrough, I hit the persuade because that's what I've always done. So, but you have to hit the top option, and that will be a problem that comes up later on. But right now, since I got this Whiterun during the daytime, I can talk to this food stand lady, and she gives me permission to go beat up a woman harasser or catcaller guy. So after doing that, hold on, let me show you the clip of these hands. Hold on, you guys see these hands. I also nearly had to restart the run right here too, because persuade, gold, brawl. I wasn't sure if brawl would level up speech. I doubted it, but yeah, literally bop bop. That's what women harassers get. Can we get a boo for women harassers in the chat, or in the comment section down below? But yeah, after swinging on him like that, she lets me have all the ingredients over here, which is ironically exactly what I need. I almost steal them because I forgot to turn the quest in first. I love the general concept of just watching someone who helped you just absolutely steal everything you're trying to sell for a profit right afterward. If that's not America here in 2026, I don't know what is. Also, I make sure to grab the Talos shrine things. That way I don't get diseases, and I get the blessing of Talos, which gives you, I think, a 15% cooldown reduction on shout. And later on, I'm gonna run to, when I get to Solitude right before the Thalmor Embassy, I'm gonna make sure to grab an amulet of Talos. But running up here to the Jarl, Euroleth tries to stop you, but you can literally just back out of the conversation and she lets you slide. She's like, oh yeah, my bad, dog. Go ahead. After talking to Jarl Balgruuf here, which is the GOAT, this is my favorite Jarl out of all the Jarls in Skyrim. It's probably a hot take, but now we're stuck here in an endless conversation, listening to these two bicker. I will sprint into them to try to speed it up. And just because I don't like this guy, I don't like his advisor very much. He seems it's like softcore racism. You know what I mean? Yeah, softcore racist. As I stand in front of the Jarl of Whiterun, bare for no draws, no nothing. So I can kind of understand it, but I still don't like it. Anyway, we complete the Before the Storm, and then he wants me to go to his court wizard. And you can't talk to Farengar before Jarl Balgruuf gets to him, because he will just straight up not believe you. But I do make sure to rob him though. I think I collect too much money throughout the run. I know I need 300 to 400 coin just to make sure that I can get to all the holds I need. I have to sit here and wait for this dialogue to go ahead and happen, and then I can talk to him. I understand it, but I wish I could just talk to him right away, kind of like how you can down in Riverwood. But yeah, he's like, go get the Dragonstone. I'm like, I got the Dragonstone right here. Boom, get out of here. And then as soon as we hand him the Dragonstone, we have to go listen to these guys yap more, and then we gotta go fight a dragon. So after helping myself to whatever ingredients for vegetable soups I could find, I didn't do this time save the first time, because this dialogue takes forever, because you have to wait for Eurolith and the Whiterun guard to get into the right spot for them to start cooking. You scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll find not grilled leeks. Come on, I know better. There we go. Vegetable soup. And it doesn't level. Cooking is not a skill in this game, so it doesn't level up anything, and it's super nice and it helped a lot with making this run get over faster. In all honesty, I probably could have done this run without the vegetable soups, but I really didn't need to. It doesn't level up skills, and like I said, this is just a pure level 1. Now, if you guys want to see a no items run, I could totally do that. If you guys would be interested in that, let me know. Wait for this long conversation to end, and then we're gonna talk to Jarl Balgruuf, and he's gonna be like, yeah, you got it right. You can go fight this dragon since you saw one in Helgen. That's crazy to me. The first person to report a dragon incident and be like for real about it, you send off to go die in the battlefield. I really wasn't too worried about the dragon fight, honestly. I was more worried about it like not perching, but after running over there and waiting for everyone else to catch up with me, it wasn't nearly as big of a problem as I thought it was going to be throughout the entire run. Honestly, the longest dragon fight I had was Alduin. I mean, it's to be expected. It's like the world eater. But I was very glad I got good RNGs. It's kind of like Minecraft with the end fight. You're just waiting for the perk. And since I only have these hands and they're very resistant to magicka, I believe, so I couldn't use the 1 or 2 scrolls I had at this point. But yeah, I was pretty nervous because the first time I did this dragon fight, it didn't land a lot. It just kept flying around. So I was worried that was going to be a thing. But between being on novice difficulty and the Skyrim guards or the Whiterun guards actually hitting a shot for once, I managed to defeat it and start absorbing the dragon soul by 24 minutes in, which is extremely good time. It's 5 minutes faster than my first run. But here, after collecting the dragon soul, I make sure to run away as quick as possible to avoid the Whiterun guard locking me into some terrible conversation. And when you're done with this fight, you can't fast travel back to Whiterun right away because you have to wait for the Greybeards to summon you. You're right past the Whiterun stables when that happens, but after that you can fast travel to Blackreach. No, Dragon's Reach, my apology. But yeah, after that I go to the Jarl, he gives me thanks and he hands me the ever so beautiful Axe of Whiterun, which I can't use, and I doubt he'd believe I killed a dragon with my bare hands. I swerve Lydia because the only companion I need in life is my wife, and that would be breaking the rules. After leaving Dragon's Reach, I fast travel back to Helgen because it's the closest waypoint I have to Iverstead. It only takes 3 minutes to run from Helgen to Iverstead, and I'm fairly confident that is the fastest route. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I think Riften is just slower. And I climbed my way up to 7,000 steps, and after a couple wolves and messing up my time save, because I had a route on my first run that I hit pretty well, that I avoided the frost troll and everything, but I messed it up this time. And fun fact, the frost troll that guards this place like it's his 9 to 5 every single day is so annoying, was my first ever death in this video game. I had been a 4th grader playing on one of those Lightning McQueen TVs. I could barely understand or see what was happening on the screen at any point. It was still pretty easy. I literally just kept running. And after nearly 5 minutes of running up a mountain, we make it to High Hrothgar. Every interaction with old people nowadays is exactly what's about to happen here. So if you don't know what happens, you go in, you're like, hey, I'm listening to what you said, I'm doing what you said, and then they all gang up around me and then shout at me and make me prove that I'm listening to them. And after shouting back at them, they let me in on their elder knowledge. And like any old person trying to teach you how to operate a bow, all he does is just say row and expect you to understand what that means. This interaction with the High Hrothgar with all the Greybeards is going to show you that this is arguably one of, if not the slowest part of the game. It's not even that they speak slow, it's just that the things that they put you in and expect you to just like sit here and just do, like we're gonna have to come back here and do a whole peace treaty, and everything they do is just so slow. So as you see, I get a little angry, I run into them a little bit, but it's really not my fault. Honest to God, it's not. Anyone in my situation would do the same thing, you know what I mean? So after shouting at and disrespecting 3 of their ancestors, they send me out back so we can all fight. They teach me how to run away really quickly, which you would think that people who have lived for hundreds of years don't know how to do, but they teach me this whirlwind sprint, which is going to be such a huge help throughout the rest of this run. I'm honestly kind of impressed with my time so far because this felt a lot slower in the moment, but looking back and realize it's only been 4 minutes, 2 minutes since I got in here. I'm kind of impressed. I didn't realize that this is going a lot faster. But after showing them why they call me Speedith and Whirlwind Sprinting for the first time, I talked to Master Agnar. I don't know how to pronounce it, but he sends me to go retrieve a horn of Jorgen Windcaller. And since I've made sure to collect money throughout this entire run, I can just fast run to Whiterun stables and then take the carriage to Morthal. At this point in the run, it's probably borderline pointless to be looting for like potions or money or anything like that, but I have a really big problem with this thing called loot hoarding. So I was hoping to get lucky also with getting enchanted rings that boost my health or stamina, because rings don't count as light or heavy armor, they're just clothing. And you guys might be wondering why I'm not just wearing clothing, and it's because wearing clothes actually makes you slower. I don't know if it's true true for amulets and rings. I don't know if they also weigh you down, but I know wearing clothes is slower than just running with nothing. But after making it to Ustangrav, this dungeon right here really made me appreciate how funny it is and how quickly you can just sprint through a dungeon without fighting anyone. Because there are mages in this dungeon specifically that are fighting all the Draugr already, and usually it's a huge fight between the conjurers and the mages and all of them and the Atronachs. But as you see here, I'm good personally. You ain't gotta make me do all that. But yeah, this dungeon also made me aware that I probably need to stop looting as much. I really don't, because I was really hoping to get enchanted rings. Spoiler alert, I didn't. But yeah, we came in here at 41:35, and you'll see I'll be done at this dungeon by like 45 minutes, because you can literally just sprint past everything. Because like right there, we just ran past like 12 enemies, I think is what it is. Even doing the puzzles, it's really not that hard to just circle around all the enemies while you're trying to do them. On my first run, I got really twisted up in here. It got really twisted. I really messed this up on my first playthrough. I really wish I did that first try as well on my first run, but I did not. But yeah, we're already basically done with the dungeon, and we're a minute and a half in, almost a minute 40 in, and we're already what was supposed to be the horn of Jorgen Windcaller, but instead is this mysterious letter left by Delphine over in Riverwood. So now, after looting a little more, I pick up another scroll. I saw the necklaces. I was so disappointed that neither one were health and stamina, but I honestly, I don't know if they're even in the loot pool until you're like level 50, which means I would actually never get them, so there'd be no point in looting. And we are out of here at 44:40. I'm just gonna round up a little bit, but I cannot fast travel right away because there's a group of bandits to my what direction would that be? West, I think. There's behind me basically, so I have to run away a little bit first, and the range is really weird on what it is, so I just try to shout away after I use a full stamina bar and shout away, and that usually gives me enough room to get out of there. So apparently after retrieving the horn or getting sent on that quest, the Dragonborn DLC can start. And so these cultists show up. They spat on me a little bit the first time I tried playing, but this time I got the last laugh and I literally backflipped them. And it was really easy, thank God. I decided to loot them. I really don't know why. Looking back, I really needed to stop. Watching the run back, it really shows you what all you messed up that seemed normal during the run. But regardless, we make it into the inn and we talk to Delphine, and she's like, all right, you can have the attic room, which doesn't even really exist. So would that be false advertisement? Could that be a lawsuit? Were lawsuits even a thing back? We get into the room, she interrogates us, she hands us the horn. So we could actually leave right now and go back to the Greybeards, but I don't decide to do it until after the Thalmor Embassy coming up, because there's simply no point in my opinion. As far as I know, it doesn't make a difference. A few more quests with Delphine, we have to go to the Greybeards anyway, so I figured to just wait until then. She takes us to her super secret chamber. I don't know why she has one in an inn, but it turns out that she is something called a blade, and she believes she knows where the next dragon is going to attack. We decided to head to Kynesgrove. And can I just mention the fact that she puts on leather armor to go fight a dragon? I feel like we're missing something here. I feel like there's lost in translation, a fire-breathing dragon. But regardless, after hiring a carriage to the Windhelm stables, I start running to Kynesgrove, and I mess up here again. There's another time save that could be here, because if you run up the mountains just right, you can completely avoid the roads and you can show up on the backside of the dragon fight basically. And I did it on my first run without even thinking about it. I actually did it. But this run, I did not get nearly as lucky, because I think if you go up to the left there, I think it's fine. But because the quest marker was right there, it messed with me a little bit. So I tried going towards it, thinking I overshot it, which was just not the case. But regardless, we're 50 minutes in and we're fighting our dragon fight, our second dragon fight. And after watching Alduin summon him, I knew I could swing on him before the fight actually started too. So I knew that was going to help. This was probably the dragon fight I was the most confident about, besides the one in Dragon's Reach, simply because it's really quick and it's just easy with the vegetable soups I had made previously. But at exactly 50:30, I can start swinging on the dragon, And the one thing I had been yapping about, glazing with the absolute amount of glaze I can, and I forgot to equip the vegetable soup until the fight was half over. So now that I actually drank the good soup, as you can see, I pretty much have infinite stamina. So as long as I keep hitting power attack with both buttons, the dragon's defeated in 40 seconds. This was a really quick dragon fight, and while I'm waiting for the thing to evaporate, I can't talk to Delphine because she's too busy glazing the fact that I actually did it. But all in all, this was the easiest boss fight, mandatory fight in the game by far. And I can't talk to her, like I said, until I absorb the dragon soul. So now that I actually did it, she's like, oh my god, you're the person I was supposed to be protecting all the years ever since Oblivion. So after listening to her yap even more, we have to fast travel back to Riverwood, and when we get there, it's time for everybody's favorite main quest mission, the Owlmore Embassy. So if you don't know, pretty much is we gotta go talk to Malborn, and then he's gonna let us get into the embassy so we can steal information from people. But we have to go to Solitude for that. And while we are in Solitude, I'm actually gonna be stealing, borrowing, obtaining. I don't know what word would be correct. This guy right here, the guy getting executed has an amulet of Talos on him. It's probably a time waste because I would like to just run in and talk to Malborn while the execution's happening. But apparently, if you leave the area, his body is just going to straight up disappear. So I do have to sit here, unfortunately, and wait. So right here, I made a mistake. I had to go AFK for like a day or so because I was, hanging out with the wife. So I accidentally skipped what I think is 26 seconds right here. So I'm gonna add it on at my end time. But I'm gonna let the whole clip play out so you guys can decide if it's actually 26 seconds or if you think it should be more or not. I counted it. I looked at my editing software and it says this clip duration is 26 seconds. So right there, that's all I lost right there. But anyway, I steal this guy's amulet of Talos, and then I run over to Malborn here. And after he hates on me for absolutely no reason, I decided to just throw in my scrolls because if there's gonna be a point in the run that I'm gonna use it, I felt like it was gonna be here. So I think I just gave him some scrolls. I forgot that the amulet of Talos counts as a quest item for some reason. I don't even remember exactly why. I've never. So after running back to Delphine, she gives me some weird drip. If someone shows up to my party in just your everyday 9 to 5 khakis and some weird looking robes, I think I would have problems with it personally, but we're not there for a good time. We're there to get information out of everyone. So we infiltrate the embassy. I get Malborn to hand me some mead that I'm going to hand over to this guy named Razban, I think is what it is. Now, right here, I don't know where he is. He's supposed to be sitting on this bench that I'm staring at, but he's not there. I'm panicking because, I'm trying to get done with the game as fast as possible. And here he is. Here's the man of the hour coming around the corner. He give me to the drunk uncle. I don't know what his significance is. He's basically the drunk uncle at family events that if you ask him about politics, you can do an Irish goodbye. You know what I mean? So after doing said thing, we run into the back with Malborn. I keep wanting to say Marlboro. You stupid. So after we get out back, I am still making sure to pick up as many cabbages and other food items as I can throughout the run. I know I really probably don't need it, but carry capacity is not an issue due to the fact that everything I'm picking up is so light anyway, and I'm not playing in survival mode, so I think I have like 200 300 carry capacity anyway. But yeah, this first group of enemies, I literally just run past them. Same with the second group. There's really going to be no fighting until the very last room, simply because the guards that show up in the last room have the key I need to be able to get out through the trap door, so I am forced to fight them unless I want to run all the way back through the whole thing, which it might have been a time save. Obviously I'm not too well involved in that, but yeah, you see right here, I'm trying to get in. I realize I don't have the right key, so I am forced to fight, unfortunately. But this first enemy here has a key, and they were wearing light armor, so I'm able to get into the last room, and he's gonna show up right in my face, but I'm simply gonna ignore him because I'm not paying too much attention. I make sure to grab the dossier. I nearly die. Since everything's so weak, I'm not too worried. I switched to whirlwind sprint here for this exact reason. I meant to stun them fully so they would actually like fly die. But I kill the guard, realize they don't have the key I need, and right now I am so scared for my life. I'm panicking really bad here for no reason pretty much. I eat all the ingredients I've been saving up, which granted only 6 health. And there's also a healing potion up here, miraculously. Between those two things, I'm chilling. Perform a Heimlich on him, a UFC Heimlich on him. So now that I've killed these two guys, the actual guards that have the key to the trap door should show up, because like you said right there, it has a chamber key, but I can't use a chamber key. And I got unlucky with this ring here. I was really hoping that it was going to be a ring of health, but it just straight up wasn't. I'm trying to figure out how to progress right here. This was a massive time loss on my part, because all I simply had to do was to run back the way I came, and I believe that the whole Malborn scene would play out where the guards that have the right key show up. I just spent too much time messing around here. I burned 3 minutes. I went ahead and triggered the old dude because I didn't know. I literally did not know what else to do. I was panicking. So after talking to the old guy some more, it updates the quest log to actually escape the Thalmor embassy, and that's what triggers these guards to roll up. So you don't have to keep Malborn alive here. I tried to, just because I'm a nice guy like that. And after suplexing another Thalmor agent, I'm able to grab the key off of her and be out of here finally. 40-ish seconds waiting for that cutscene to actually talk enough to the old guy. But I decided to fight the Frost Troll too, which was a horrible decision. Never do this. This is just another time loss. If I were to do this run again, I would definitely need to clean up like the dumb moments basically. Because there was no need for me to fight that Frost Troll. There was no need for me to wander around. Now that I know how to actually progress the quest, which I should have learned to do before doing the run. In my defense, I thought I knew. Anyway, after returning to Delphine with the stolen information, she tells me about this old guy named Esbern that's down in the Ratway all the way over in Riften. Now here is where I made a big mistake on my first run and I got stuck. Basically where I got stuck is I didn't know that you did not have to talk to the Riften guard up front, because if you guys didn't know, basically if you do any dialogue option that lets you into the city with that guard, he's just gonna straight up level up your speech. And I thought you could jump over there, but nope. The workaround, I need y'all to peep game and lock in here. So the trick is to fall off the dock. It's to go up these stairs here. You're gonna go to the back side of the Blackbriar Meadery, which is right here, and boom, you can go through the front door and be in Riften without having to talk to anyone. So now that we're here in Riften, as you guys know, the quest line says talk to Brynjolf. Brynjolf is gonna give you this big quest where you have to go lock break into someone's shit and then pickpocket and put it on someone else. But we can't do either one of those things. So even though the quest says talk to Brynjolf, you can just go straight to Esbern if you know where it is. And since I have played this game before and done a little bit of the main storyline, I do know where he is. So in my notes, I talk about the gauntlets that do an increased 15 damage to your unarmed stat. When I realized that it was a light armor and not just like a normal piece of clothing, I got so upset I don't even feel the need to give it justice. So if you guys know where I'm talking about, yeah, I hope they burn in a fire, to be honest. But after showing up to Esbern's door naked, he talks to us a little bit and then he unlocks all the locks for us. And if I can figure out how to get this audio to play, please play it right here.
There we go.
So normally there is just the whole time it's just him turning locks. Like if you look at the back of the door here, he unlocks like 7 locks, but if you look, there's literally only the one. So I don't understand. Maybe he was just sitting there and like lock or something, but I don't know. Anyway, Unk tells us about his prime back in Oblivion, and after more convincing, he decides that he wants to go to the secret lair in Riverwood. And the more you look at this story from an outside perspective, the more it sounds like the average news story here in 2026. After we take anything important, I go ahead and fight this Thalmor wizard, because if I don't, I didn't want him to like teleport through the door and it be a time loss anyway. And once you actually get out of the Ratway, I would love to be able to just straight up fast travel, but apparently the Thalmor have a spy here. That's some weird Argonian lady, but she's wearing just normal clothes, so you would think she'd be waiting like somewhere nearby for me. But one power attack's all I needed, and as soon as she falls, I teleport over to Riverwood. After Esbern and Delphine have their little reunion, and you would think because they are, the blades, they would like touch the tips of their swords or something, but they don't. So after going back downstairs, waiting for more dialogue, they decide we need to go to Alduin's Wall. That's over in Skyhaven Temple, but it's overran by Forsthorn. And after a quick trip back to the goat, we're gonna go ahead and fast travel to Markarth, because that is the closest POI location we have right now. As we're closing in on Skyhaven Temple, if you've only done the main quest line, a dragon's going to show up, and that means all the Forsworn are just going to attack it. So we're not even going to worry about the dragon or anybody else. We're just going to drop down and jump in. Now there is a Briarheart and one Forsworn in here. I am going to kill them just to speed up Esbern and Delphine. So after those 10 punches, this puzzle right here really messed me up as a kid, but it's extremely simple. I believe I got it right here. Yeah, you just want all those symbols to be the little circle with the V pointing into it, and you get the combination. It's that simple. I think it's crazy how easy the puzzles are in the main quest compared to other parts of the game, because there's a Dwemer one where you literally have to shoot 5 targets in a specific order while they're rotating, and that one is the only puzzle I've ever had to Google. But then you have something as simple as these two right here. I know the floor is quite literally fire, but if you just run for it, the game gives it to you for free. After a couple more tactical naps, Esbern finally tells me I need to do the commit barcode onto wrist thing to get the wall to open up. Which, I get it, I'm Dragonborn, but you ain't gotta tell me to self-harm like that. It's a little rude. Granted, I have been running into you trying to get you to shut up for the past 28 minutes, 26 minutes, but like, come on, man. This is a kid's game. Once we're actually into the temple, the first thing I do is run over and grab Dragon's Bane and the Blade Armor. Carry weight isn't an issue in this game, so that's the only reason I do grab it. I promise I never put it on. But this part of the run right here was the second most aggravatingly slow part, because Esbern here starts glazing every wall like he's a teenager, and no matter what I do, no matter how many times I ran into him or told him to hurry up, he just wouldn't. So after what felt like 3 years of waiting, I had to go outside and touch grass because my brain started to hurt. But after listening to a little more yapping, he finally updates the quest line and lets Delphine tell me about the beef that they and the Greybeards have. Apparently they want the Dragonborn to use his powers for more things, which is another point I don't understand about the blades in this game, because if you guys have played Oblivion, you know the blades listen to you. But in this game, it seems like the Dragonborn is just their like cannon fodder. The guy that they're trying to protect, they send out to do all this stuff, and they get mad at you about not wanting to kill Parthenax. But I digress. We go back to High Hrothgar and finally return the Horn of Jorgen Windcaller from an hour ago, 45 minutes ago. And afterwards, they yell at me a little bit, which I don't understand, but whatever. They teach me this new shout. I talked to them again about this shout called Dragonren, and they tell me the only way to learn it is to go back in time and hear it for myself when it first happened. And the only way to time travel is, drumroll please, the Elder Scroll, specifically the Dragon Elder Scroll. Yes, we're going to go get part of the name of the game here in Skyrim. We're going to be in Skyrim getting the Elder Scroll. Very good, ladies and gentlemen, audience members out there. If you're wondering where I've been and why this video took so long to get out, is I went through a lot of things between when I finished recording this video in January and where I've been editing this video since, here now in April. Yeah, that's right. I've spent the last 5 months trying to edit this video, and let me just say, I am terrible at editing. But I had a lot of things happen during that time. I had to go get a normal job, put the fries in the bag. I nearly edited everything. Had a very deep and enlightening experience with my wife. We had to go outside more. We were both getting really depressed and just hated being here. So this kind of came on the back burner when you're worried about staying alive. Unironically, I guess. I still don't know when this is gonna get done. Like I said, this is like, it's like April 15th, and I don't know how much longer this is gonna take. I don't know how much longer I got left in me. If I do eventually get this video out, I don't know if I'm gonna do another challenge run anytime soon, because editing all this down by myself, low-key excruciating. And if I do a challenge run, I don't think I'm gonna do a speed run. Because if I do a challenge run, I can manage it better. I feel like I can manage that better. Or just doing like a 20-minute video of me playing like Helldivers or For Honor or something, or even Skyrim, really. Even starting a Skyrim playthrough. But making this video really took a lot out of me, which is, I feel dumb to say, because I really didn't think it was going to be this long to get a video out. If I had known that when I started making this video, I think I would have reached out to more people. I would have asked for help with like the script writing. But anyway, we're getting close up here to Parthenax. Parthenax, yes sir. And welcome to the throat of the world where Parthenax resides. I thought about running up and grabbing the notch pickaxe, but I got mesmerized by this aura farm. Check out his aura farm horn. Look at it. got a little too close.
You
His
ruined it.
breath smells a
You ruined it,
lot
and I'm leaving.
like Argonians. It caught me a little off guard in the moment, but I yapped to him a little bit. He's like, yeah, I don't know this shout that you speak of. Let me teach you this one where you can breathe fire, though. How about that? How's that sound? Now, my wife has said I have a pretty hot mouth, but I have a feeling this is not what she was talking about. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. So after giving him a taste of his own breath, he's like, you are Dragonborn. You're chill like that. So basically, I'm gonna tell you that in order for you to get this thing, you're gonna have to go to the College of Winterhold and talk to someone there, or talk to the librarian there, and he's gonna give you a book that's written in the ancient dragon language that some dude that lives in a cave is going to translate for you. A fun little fact about Parthenax here. His voice actor is the original voice actor for Mario in North America. Yeah, this dragon right here is voiced by Mario. That's something crazy to me. But anyway, after the quest updates, he tells us that we can go either talk to the Greybeards or we can go talk to Esbern or the Blades, and they'll tell us what to do. But now, me personally, I choose the Greybeards because I don't like how the Blades are portrayed in this game. Like I said earlier, they're supposed to be the ones that like help and serve the Dragonborn, but it feels more like they're using you for their own gain. So for that reason alone, I usually don't kill Parthenax at the end either to complete the quest line or anything like that. I just leave it because I don't agree with it, so I don't do it. It's that simple. But after pulling up to Winterhold, we have this dialogue option that I've never chosen before because I didn't realize you could just get into the college if you progress far enough into the main quest line, because I usually do all 4 factions or at least 3 of them before doing this. And when I saw, I can be like, what if you do it for a Dragonborn? Would you do it for a Hot Pocket? And she was like, yeah, of course. And I was like, what an interesting little... I appreciate that they put that in if you're not playing a mage character. I thought for sure she was going to swing on me after I accidentally foosed her, I guess? I don't know. Either way, we make our way into the Arcanium, I believe is how it's corrected. Whatever, bro. We talked to Ergo Shub here, and we're like, hey, I'm looking for an Elder Scroll. And he's like, do you really think that we would put something that literally blinds mortals here for everyone to read? And then he was like, well, I can't give you the Elder Scroll mostly because we don't have it, but I can give you this book that is just total nonsense to everyone that is currently alive, and I'll give you this information about basically a wannabe Tony Stark. Like, he lives in an ice cave talking about if I study the cube will reward me, and it turns out he's involved with some Daedric prince or king, it's a Daedric prince for sure. I don't remember his name. It's my god, my lore is exiting my cranium as I'm trying to explain the lore. Editor me, I'll look this. Give me 1 second. After exiting the Arcanium, I probably concern everyone a little bit because I just jump off the backside of this bridge here. It's actually because I need to go to the top of the map, but I'm trying to imagine this from like the doorkeeper's perspective. All she hears is someone whirlwind sprint, run a few more steps, and then just jump off. I'm just saying, it probably looked a little funny from her perspective. But as you can see, like I said, he lives in a cave with a box of scraps. So after literally jumping on him, being like, hey, I need this Elder Scroll right now, or I swear to God, I will end everything here on Earth. No, it's gonna blind you, right? So this, from what I read in the lore and what I remember, so yeah, we are literally talking to a Daedric prince in disguise right now. But anyway, he's like, so you have to go through Blackreach, and there's a dragon in a ball, and there's a lot of Falmer and Falmer slaves and all this other junk, and you gotta go all the way through it to the bottom to get this Elder Scroll. I don't want you guys to think I hate Blackreach. I think Blackreach is one of the more beautiful and intricate parts of the game, but I hate that the dungeon specifically before going to Blackreach, the one they send you to, is terrible in my opinion. I don't know exactly how many places there are in Skyrim where you can go through Blackreach, but in my opinion, they take you to the one that is the most confusing. I genuinely got lost my first couple times trying to get down there, just because if you go, I believe it's literally right outside of Markarth. Cut, I should have disqualified myself. Look at this heinous action I committed. This is an animal on animal crime, and it needs to stop. But as we're getting up to the location, it's very important that you try to go above the quest marker on your way here. That way you can just drop down and in. When I first did this, I thought it was all the way at the bottom of the ravine, which is not. As you can see to my left, I kept trying to go in through there. I thought there was like a doorway behind that little pillar. As we go further and further into this Dormer ruin, we find the remains of a group of adventurers that tried to go all the way down to Black Reach, but they eventually turned on each other because of poor representation on the Khajiit community. One of these Kavats. You're gonna sit here and tell me that I misidentified the Kavat with the Khajiit in the middle of my rant about poor representation within the Khajiit community? That's crazy. Thought that another one drank their skooma, so they were like, you know what? I'm just gonna kill him in his sleep. Which, first off, not all Khajiits are like that. All right, Speedeth here would not harm a fly. R.I.P. Brody. All he did was exist, but I am gonna take his money and his potions because it's not like he's gonna be drinking them anymore. And here we enter the actual Dwemer part of the Dwemer ruins. Now 2 Dwemer spheres are gonna spawn here. Very important that you just keep running. Playing this game while evading every single enemy I could was genuinely one of the funniest things I've done in a hot minute. Even looking back on it, I know, like I said earlier, I recorded this back in January, but watching this run again back here in April is so funny. How all the enemies I usually stop and fight and think about what I should do to be able to beat them as quickly as possible, and I just run past them. It's like, now this right here is a lot easier than what I've seen people do. You can literally just chain jump it. I only bring up how easy this part is because it reminds me of when I was a kid. I felt so smart for figuring out you could just jump over the things that push you. And looking back at this game, remembering it from when I played it when I was like a 3rd or a 4th grader, and seeing the difference in how I even move at any capacity is just crazy and low-key funny to me. This part of the Dwemer ruin can be optimized, and you have to pay attention when you're doing this part, because if you fall just a little bit too far, you will die. Now I know this traveler adventurer died, but you can just go down the pipe. That's pretty quick. Boom. Take a little bit of damage here, a little more than I would have liked, but you gotta be careful with these Falmer. They will kill you. Like, I got slashed by that one, and then I'm gonna preemptively jump here, and I jump over that ice pier because I know it's gonna happen because it killed me on my first try to get through here. But it is still nothing too insane. And as we make our way through to the next room, it's the more you look at what's been going on down here, the less you're gonna like it. Like, I'm pretty sure we just jumped around a torture chamber. I don't even know if I can say that and still get not age restricted. We had a couple fire traps, but they're easily negated. You just go around, hop on the shelving. And here on this next room, I got lost. I don't know how. So that door to the right is actually how you can leave this place and come back. It's called a grand lift. Obviously, we're not going to come back this way, so we don't need to grab it. But for someone else playing through this, I would recommend running back for it. And right here on the pipes, I almost died right there, as you saw. If I didn't catch the edge of that one pipe, I would have fell and died. Just a couple rooms later, we activate this lever here. There is a Centurion on the left, but we don't have to worry about it. It moves too slow, thankfully. But here is such a weird dialogue thing. So there's 2 explorers that discover this place, and they have a whole interaction, but they don't talk to you or anything, so you can just leave. And an hour and 46 minutes in, we have made it to Black Reach. Now I go ahead and flick that just to hit the little dwarven sphere. I actually whiffed it. Didn't know that was possible. But this is Black Reach. This is where the Elder Scroll is located deeper in. And as you can see in the distance there's a big glowing orb. And I'm going to show you one of my favorite dragons in the entire game right here. There's a lot of bugs in Falmer. And there's actually a couple of Falmer slaves once we get closer to the giant floating orange orb. So as we get close to this thing, I don't know if you have to Fusro dot it, but because my shout meter was actually filled, I had to sit and wait and just hope I didn't get killed. So after you Fus it, you just Fus it one time, you'll hear a little cry in the background, and then a dragon will spawn. Now you don't need to spawn this dragon or anything. I just like to because I think it's a really cool concept, and I want to show my appreciation to it every time that I can. Ironically enough, he does actually like get in my way, as you'll see here in a second. As long as you keep running, if you don't stop as soon as that dragon spawns, he won't be in your way. He might spray fire at us. That's why I've had an issue with a couple runs, but we didn't have that fortunately this time. And if you're gonna play Skyrim, I heavily recommend you stay around this place longer. I love Black Reach. There's a lot of Nern roots to collect around here, and I think this is where the red ones are for a certain quest. Here we are. We're closing in on the room that has the Elder Scroll in it, and a puzzle for this isn't really too tricky, to be honest. It can be if you don't do do it right off the start, if that makes sense. So for the puzzle, what you're going to do first is put the blank Lexington in its designated slot, and then you're going to go right one twice, second right one twice again, I think, if I remember correctly. Yeah, twice again. Do the right one again, and again, and again, until it won't let you. And then you're going to do the second to right one again. Second rightmost, I guess would be the right one. 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. And that'll open up this one. Hit this again, and then boom, you're in. If you didn't get all that, don't worry, neither did I. And then I think you hit the third one again, and then it should open up the fourth one. And you hit that, and boom, you got the Elder Scroll. Super easy guide, guys. I totally didn't have to look it up or anything like that. I totally knew it off the top of my head.
Stop the cap.
And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. An hour and 50 minutes into playing Skyrim, and we have the Elder Scroll. And conveniently, there's another lift here. So after returning the Elder Scroll to the Throne of the World, Parthenax is like, yeah, go ahead and read that, trust. But read it right here in this specific spot so you can watch the battle go down in real time. And I love this animation. This is where 90% of the budget for Skyrim went. I swear to God, look at this. And then here we are. We are watching history in the making. So what we did is we went back in time to rewatch the fight of when the Shout Dragonrend was used so that we can use it to defeat Alduin here in the present. And if it sounds convoluted, it's basic time travel stuff. You know, it's no... And this fight is always so funny to me. The most scripted dragon fight I've ever seen. I mean, obviously it's a scripted fight, but it looks so not organic compared to how the other dragon fights are. Whether that be because I'm standing still here watching them do it or not. But yeah, then he's gonna slow walk. At this point, there it is. It's the Elder Scroll back when it was in peak timing period. This whole fight with Alduin is kind of aura, so I'm honestly just gonna let it play out for you guys.
If I die today, it will not be in terror. Tiny worm. See your mouth. Skyrim will be free.
It's no use.
Grant us your sacred breath to make this contract heard. Begone, World Eater. By words with older bones than your own, we break your perch on this age and send you out. You are banished. Count you out of all our endings unto the last.
And there we go. Just like that, Alduin has been defeated. And now it's time for us to go do the same. Upon leaving the flashback, Alduin is here and he's like, well, if you're going to do that, I'm going to throw some hands. And I don't remember if I said this earlier in the video or not, but scrolls don't use magical abilities, so I tried to use it. Obviously, a dragon is going to have high magicka resistance. And this Alduin fight was actually kind of terrifying because I'm staring down a dragon and the only thing I have helping me is vegetable soup. So I got really close to dying right there, so I decided to just start eating all of the food I had because I know if you're low enough health, the enemy will do a kill animation move on you and you can't do anything about it. So as you see, I slammed every single ingredient I had. And this fight was low-key difficult. I mean, this is exactly what you're gonna see every time we fight any enemy ever. But this is what the harder fight. The only fights that are like this is Alduin fight 1, Alduin fight 2, and then the the guardian of Sovngarde, the dude who sits out front. Those 3 fights are going to be exactly the same. And right here again, I do have to use some potions, unfortunately. Even though he's so low, I would have liked to not to, but I genuinely didn't feel like I had a choice. But really quickly, I mean, we got him. Of course, we always kill him. I don't know what Parthenax is doing during all this. I'm going to be so honest with you. And another thing to look out for during this fight is the little meteors that are shooting down. As you can see, I'm getting hurt after the fight has ended because of them. And they killed me on my first run. I'm not going to lie. I had them down like half health and then I got asteroided. And now it's time for everyone's favorite part of the main storyline, aka how much yapping can they a 5-minute segment. So this part of the run genuinely took the longest. So we're gonna talk to Jarl Bolgraf here, and he's gonna be like, alright, if you want to trap a dragon in my keep while we're in the middle of a war, you're gonna have to convince both sides to not attack while doing so. And so we're gonna head to Actually, first, we gotta go to High Hrothgar and ask them if they can hold a council here, which I still think is technically Ulfric's like area, because he used to train here and everything when he was a Dragonborn. So we're gonna pull up to the Palace of Kings, and we're gonna talk to Ulfric, and we're gonna be like, hey, I'm trying to save the world. Can you pull up to the Greybeard if I get General Tullius to agree to show up to the Greybeards as well, as peaceful as possible? And then he'll proceed to repeat that exact thing, that he's only gonna show up if that guy shows up. But even if you go to him first, he's gonna say the same thing. So either way, it's just a weird beef thing I don't fully understand. Alright, so yeah, but he did agree to come, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna buzz over to Solitude. Now that we showed up to General Tullius, he's gonna, well, I'm only gonna show if he's gonna show up peacefully. Which again, dumb. Only do it for one side, okay? Like, don't make them repeat the same lines, basically. I understand you can go to either one first, but I think it's just a weird little tidbit they threw in. But yeah, after we're like, yeah, he agreed to come to Hrothgar peacefully and everything, he's like, oh, okay, well, I'll see you there at 5 o'clock. And now we're gonna see, I want you guys to place your bets, actually, as to how long this meeting is going to take. I do decide to go ahead and get dressed up and get looking a little fancy, but I'm going to take my seat at 2 hours, 4 minutes, and let's say 50 seconds, just because it did take a little bit, and we're going to see how long this goes. This is the biggest time waste in all of history. I'm just going to say it. So what I do like to do for this, though, is I usually send the elf away, because I'm not racist or anything, but I don't think the elves, the Almeri Dominion, I don't even play this game, apparently. I can't pronounce any of the names, I swear to God. The Elven faction holy I do not like the Elven faction. I think they are literally just, they're staging the war. They're staging Ulfric being on the Stormcloak side. It sounds like things modern America would do, and for that reason, I usually send them away. But after that, I do try to be fair to General Tullius, because I do feel I don't want him thinking I'm completely favoring the Stormcloak. I don't really know if I'm on the Stormcloak sides or the Imperial sides, because, like I said, I think Ulfric Stormcloak is literally just a ploy from the Almeri Dominion. Those guys, but I also think that the Imperials are being controlled by them. So really, there is no factions here in Skyrim. It's all just like, it's like some vault tech stuff, like trials they would do in the vaults is how I feel about it. So I guess I would say I am just a wanderer that helps whatever side whenever it's convenient. I do know that if you complete the Civil War before doing this, you can just skip all this, but it does take longer than just sitting here. Now that I'm looking back at it, I don't know if there's even a way where neither one of them says that you're just like trying to screw them over in the war. Because what I usually do is I'll give up Riften in turn for Markarth or something like that. But then Tullius is like, I came here on good faith, but you're just being a whole stinky butt about it. And I'm like, dude, I don't care about the Civil War, to be honest. We're 2 hours and 13 minutes, and it's not quite done yet. But let me know your guys' final guesses before we're done here in a moment. It took a total of 10 minutes and 23 seconds for that whole part of the quest to be done. That was longer than it took for us to rewatch the Elder Scroll be used and learn Dragonrend and retreat him to Sovngarde, whatever term you want to use. But anyway, now that we're done with that time waste, we're gonna talk to Esbern here, and he's gonna be like, all right, so now that you did all the work, you keep doing work and go capture a dragon in Whiterun and Dragon's Reach, which is a really interesting lore thing I really like, is that it's happened before. That's why it's called Dragon's Reach, is because I want to say Olaf or one of the old heroes in Sovngarde. We'll see when we go into Sovngarde. Yeah, don't mind this. Don't mind this. Just taking my frustration out. You know how it is. I'll take the time loss for this, to be honest with you. Anyway, after that short intermission, we make our way to Dragon's Reach. I go ahead and quick save, and I talk to the guard, and I summon Ovading. That is the dragon that we're going to capture and have us take to Sovngarde. So we can't go directly to Sovngarde. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go to this temple, and then we're going to have to fight our way through a bunch of Draugr, solve a couple puzzles, and then outrun a dragon priest and get there before he closes the portal. RIP that soldier. Yoink! Off rip, poor guy, got absolutely farmed. Now, as you see, I've hit the thing with Dragon Rend forever ago, and it takes forever to land because it has to land just right, and the computer has to let it do it just right. But yeah, pretty much what you're going to do is you're going to Dragon Rend it, and then you're going to run all the way to the back instantly. Props to Jarl Balgruuf for getting in there, though. He has a hunting bow, and he's in there like, I'm going to kill this thing. I'm going to fight for my people. I honestly think Jarl Balgruuf is the best Jarl in all of Skyrim. So anyway, after talking to Ovading, his breath also reeks. I think all dragons' breath stank. I'm going to be so honest with you guys. But anyway, we're going to be like, all right, the only way you're getting out of here is if you take us to this temple. And so we're going to go up, talk to the guard, and be like, all right, let him out. You know, if I was anyone here in Whiterun, I would be so heated that we spent all this time preparing to risk our lives for a dragon to be captured in Dragon's Reach. 30 seconds later, all right, let him out, we're leaving. You didn't even give me time to post it on my Instagram or my Snapchat or my Twitter or nothing. Just right away you said, all right, wrap it up here. So this place can be pretty scary if you're not paying attention, because I believe it's infinite dragon spawns, but there's always going to be at least 2 on the field. If I'm not incorrect, I might be, to be honest. You can avoid it just by sprinting like your life depends on it. This was one of the scariest places. I was trying to bait an attack there, a little bit of a time loss. I should have just kept running against the wall. But yeah, as you see, there's dragon number 1, and there's a lot to this place. If you're not trying to speedrun, I heavily recommend exploring this place a little more, especially farming dragon souls, because if they do keep respawning, that would be huge. But yeah, I'm out of stamina. My first run, I made a mistake of going in there, and then I got trapped by the dragons. But what you're gonna do, you're gonna run through, you're gonna take a left. I did only get hit with 1 arrow throughout that entire run, which kind of impressed me myself, I'm gonna be honest. All right, here we are. Puzzle number 1. It's gonna be a very simple
Stop the cap.
Actually, what even is the combination? Hold on, we're gonna have to both watch this to understand it. The right symbol matched the right face. I did get hurt here a lot, but there's not much way you can do when you have 4 Draugrs on you. If looks are to believed, I believe from that little incursion is you just have to rotate everything twice. You rotate the left and right columns twice and leave the middle one, you're good. If I read that, if I looked at that correctly while watching the fight. But there was definitely room for time save there. 2 quick punches, that Draugr's dead, thank God. The spiders, you can just ignore the spiders. We're at 2 hours and 21 minutes here. I feel like I'm making great time, to be honest. And here's puzzle number 2. I honestly think you just rotate. I think you just need to get snake. Is that all it is? Yeah, I have it right. I don't know why I tried fixing it, but you're pretty much trying to make that drawbridge drop. And right here is where where I realized I wasn't recording on my first attempt through this. I don't know what I was doing here. Very clearly, the answer is you just switch it to snake and then pull the lever, Gronk. But I tried to whirlwind sprinted past it, so I didn't have to worry about that. You can do that if you want. After throwing a couple more hands, go ahead, flick the lever. There's no tricks in this room, thankfully, but I do think there's like a dragon claw piece coming up here. I don't remember too honestly. At this point in the run, you should not be looting. By the way, I want to make that clear. If anyone else is going to speedrun Skyrim, don't loot the last place. There's genuinely no reason, but I have to kill this Draugr in order to get the claw. A fox moth dragon is what it looks like to me. I'm fairly confident saying that bottom one isn't a dragon, but I don't know what else to call it, so that's just what I be calling it. Top and bottom one, switch over and you're in. That one's really easily, thankfully. Kind of like how with Bleak Falls Barrel, I always remember is you rotate each one twice and you're in. It's one of the few dragon claws I remember. I believe there's like 13 out there or so. But anyway, this room here has it has a word wall here. There's really no need to learn the word Stormcall. Yeah, there's no need to learn Stormcall at all. I only did it because I'm dumb and didn't think about it in the moment. But there we go. There's the the end of the room, and this is where you gotta be quick. You gotta be quick here. I immediately go the wrong direction, but yeah, the dragon's gonna land on you. You're gonna get frozen. You just keep running. Just keep running. You gotta keep running. I quick save here because as you can see, we have to get past this dragon priest in order to make it into Sovngarde. Otherwise, we actually have to fight him. Welcome to Sovngarde. So there are a couple interactions here that you can skip if you know how to go around them. Once we get a little further down the road, some dude's gonna be like, no, please turn back. It's too dangerous. But you can just swerve him. Otherwise, they'll lock you into dialogue, and no amount of mashing B will save you. You can see Alduin in the distance, and due to a skill issue, the exact conversation I was trying to avoid happened. Thankfully, though, it did let me out of it earlier than normal. There's the motherfucker again trying to aura farm. I'm not even gonna give him a aura farming music or anything. You don't deserve it. He's literally going to die here within the next like 10 minutes. But here it is, ladies and gentlemen. The hardest fight in the game right here. You don't have to kill this guy or anything, but as you guys are me, and he locks me into the killing move that I was so worried about. I was genuinely like 5 HP off max completing this first try, but I did have to reload and retry. So I go ahead and fire breath off rip to try to get some burn damage onto him a little more. But then I hit him with the 1, 2, 3, and he let me in, thankfully. But we made it into the Hall of Heroes, and after telling this guy that, hey, we're here to kill Alduin for y'all, I decided to go ahead and explore a little bit instead of forcing the next conversations to happen. I really love the Hall of Heroes. The amount of people here, the amount of lore basking them all in this place, which makes sense, obviously. It's where the dead go to rest. But there's Yskamor. This is the only place in the game where you can get like head of hog and other food items like that also, I believe. But yeah, I could have done this. This is the guy right here. This guy right here, Olaf One Eye, is the one that also caught a dragon in Dragon's Reach. This right here is a really cool thing I'd like to mention is everyone has to use the clear sky shout at the same time for it to like fully go away. I think it's a beautifully added concept. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the final fight of the game. And off rip, I missed my hands. My hands just hit straight air. I am extremely nervous at this point because I didn't think I'd get here this fast. I did not expect to be able to get Sovngarde in 2 hours and 30 minutes, but this fight is hard. It's not really like because there's a lot of enemies or anything, but it's the same reason we had a problem with the Gate Guardian for getting into the Hall of Heroes. It's just he can lock you in a kill animation. And I forgot the Dragon Ren there. That's on me. That's a little bit of a time loss, but I do manage to hit it right here and get him to come back down. I'm gonna go ahead and eat some food. Of course, the last thing I want to do is die and have to restart all of that. And here he goes. He lands right on me, perfectly where I thought he would. And I don't know how much help the other people are doing. It really only looks like my damage is the only thing hurting him. And right there, Alduin is defeated at 2 hours, 32 minutes, and 49 seconds. Now, I didn't pause the timer here because I didn't know if I should go until the quest says ended. Again, tries the aura farm, and I'm not giving him a montage this time. Don't even think for a second he's... And in Alduin's final moments, he sheds his outer scale, reveals his true skeleton, and his dragon soul gets absorbed, which means he is not coming back ever. And at the 2 hour, 33 minute, and 50 second marker, we have completed Skyrim's main storyline. Thank you guys so much for watching the video and putting up with my voice for this long. I'm sorry this video took forever, but this scene coming up right here is one of my favorite in the game, so I'm gonna let it play out and then it'll be outro.
Surut fur Kanaran. Vakin los Oktavakri. happy. You did what was necessary, but I cannot celebrate his fall. Zutiraz Ach. Indeed, you saw more clearly than I. Perhaps now you have some insight into the forces that shape the Benesatid. Perhaps you... But I forget myself. Crosis. Solos mi fadon. Melancholy. You have won a mighty victory. Savor your triumph. Goran, I feel younger than I have in...
All right, outro time. Thank you guys for listening and watching the video. It really means a lot to me. I'm sorry this did not get out sooner. Like I said earlier in the video, I'm on the edge of homelessness right now as it is, so I was more worried about that. Once I get monetized, if I do get monetized and I'm able to keep doing what me and my wife got going on right now, we will absolutely, I'll be pumping out more videos. If y'all know what you want to see out of me next, please let me know down in the comment section below. And I cannot thank you guys enough for making it to the end of the video. And I will see you guys in the next one. You guys didn't think I forget about the cat picture at the end of the video, would you? Thank you guys so much for watching again, and huge shout out to Juice on Instagram for making my character. I love it. Obviously, if you couldn't tell by how much I spammed it in the video. So make sure, if you guys want some art done, make sure to hit her up. Thank you guys. I'll see you later.